Welcome, welcome, welcome to this edition of Sagionic 1027. We are so glad that you decided to join us for this broadcast. And with us, well, she looks familiar. The name sounds familiar. Well, that's because it is. However, the last time we interviewed our guest, it was because of the full picture of how creative this woman is. This time, we are going to specifically interview her for the launching around the globe of a quite profound book, might I add. And so during this program, I would like you to begin to partner with Creative Thoughts. For it's from Creative Thoughts that this program even exists. And let me tell you how simple and easy this is. In 2018, I was walking down the hall in my home. I heard the word in my mind, Sagionic. I said, wow, that's wild. A new word's never been spoken to me like that. And I said, what is that? How do you even spell it? And in my mind came the spelling, Sagionic. So I was like, whoa, that is so cool. I looked it up. The word Sagionic is Greek. I'm Greek. And it means movement by movement in time. So think of where we are in the nation. Think of where we are in the world, in different continents. And do you think maybe kind of sort of potentially we might need a movement? And if we look throughout human history, anytime something needed to happen, it came through the movement, voice, hands, feet of an individual. And that movement created a movement. So the word singular, Sagion, all by itself, means carriers of wisdom. And today, our distinguished guest, Jamie Ackerman, is just that, a carrier of wisdom. So Jamie, today's program is all about you and what you would like our viewers to know. Take it away, Jamie.
All right. Well, I will show you the cover of the book first. So this is The Adventures of the Womb.
Can
And
you make that come closer?
yes,
And just hold it there
Adventures
for a
of the
minute
Womb.
so people can see it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, sweetie.
Okay. So this, I'll start with the story behind it of how it got created because I did not plan on being a writer or an illustrator for that matter, with books and stuff. But I've been waking up at 3 a.m. lately, and so every time I have been, I just set my mind. I'm like, God, all right, either show me something or help me fall asleep. So if I can't fall asleep, then a lot of times I'll get up and go take a hot shower because this really helps clear my mind and focus on what he's trying to tell me so I can fully be in the spirit and just really allow myself to be in a state of surrender. And I saw him downloading these images in my mind of this book. And immediately I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. And I argued and I was like, that is not at all what I want to put my time and effort into. And he was like, no, 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 try it. And I was like, I really don't want to, God. And he was like, try it. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I gave myself a timeline. I gave myself a month. And I set it for my husband's birthday. I'm like, okay, I have a month to do this, and then I can show my husband and see how he reacts, and then go from there. And I was like, God, if you're gonna have me do this, this is yours, because I market it. I don't want to. Once it's done, it's done. Like I don't know what to deal with it, or show me how to market it. Like show me what to do because I don't know what to do with it. And um, so So the next day I got up and I got the iPad out. My husband had given me an iPad and pencil, so I started drawing on there. And at first I couldn't get it, and then I looked up some inspiration photos of like, okay, that's what a cartoon baby looks like, so I could go from there. Um, but actually, the first image, this is from our what our child looked like from the ultrasound. So I went off of the ultrasound photo for the first image.
Now wait, you
And then
said,
I so
wait. You said our child.
yes,
Now, the viewers don't
Yeah.
know everything. So what do you mean by our child?
My husband and mine. And it's a God-given baby because this was not a baby we thought we would be having.
You're
So,
supposed to say you're pregnant.
oh yeah, I'm
Oh.
pregnant. Yeah, we're coming up on the due date here in
Okay,
January.
okay, okay. Now you can go on. Now you can go on.
Okay. Yeah, so the first image is from the ultrasound photo, which here's actually the ultrasound photo.
Oh
So you can see the shape.
gosh!
And
Oh, I love those. I love
yes.
those. And this is my favorite part. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That sound. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that sound brings you to tears.
It does. And
Yeah.
that sound was actually very reassuring because uh I I had such an easy pregnancy and it was such a like random, am I pregnant? I'm pretty sure I'm pregnant, but I shouldn't be pregnant right now because of when the test fell in, that it was like, okay, there is a baby in there. There's like reassuring. I'm like, all right. So um yeah, so I gave myself a month for writing and illustrating this book. Honestly, I was focused on the illustrations because God showed me the images. I didn't know the words. He showed me the images. And so the next day I sat down, I started. I could not put that thing down for 3 days. I was drawing and I just kept drawing and it just kept coming out.
Oh.
And then thankfully my husband had men's group on a Saturday. So this is a third day. And I was like, okay, well I have 34 images. So I uploaded them to the computer. And I sat there and I'm like, wait, God, you showed me the images, but you didn't show me the words. I have no idea what to say. So, and I didn't even think about it until I'd uploaded it.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, so then I sat there for a while and I'm like, well, where do I even start? What do I do? I don't know what order these images go in. I knew the first page because of the ultrasound, but after that, I was like, I just started placing them.
Okay,
And
okay, okay.
he just started telling me the words, and I was like, okay, I guess we're going with rhyming. So it rhymes. And and it just continued and I would within 3 days before my husband's before he got home it was written and uploaded, but then I had to finalize the file type to get it published.
In 3 days.
So in 3 days.
Oh my
And
goodness sakes!
yeah,
Do you
exactly.
think it's important to partner with thoughts? Do you think just
Yep.
a little?
Oh yeah. Yep. And not stifle them. If you feel like I can't put it down, if I put it down, it would have taken me a while to get back into it. So that's why I knew for myself I had to let it flow. I had to get it out. Plus, then
Yes.
we don't overthink it. If God gave us a thought, and we give ourselves too much time, it is important to think about things and to pray about things. But if you give yourself too much time, then you're going to start putting your voice over God's voice, and we don't want to do that. So I think it's just being obedient and listening. Of like, I knew God told me to do it, I'm going to do it. So,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so carry on.
Yes. Okay. So this was supposed to be for his birthday, and I'd given myself a month, but I was done in 3 days, and then I was having problems with with the file type upload, and so I just gave in, and I was like, I'm sorry, I need your help. To my husband, I was like, I need your help. He's a tech person,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, but I had thankfully gotten it. It was live on Amazon. So I told him, I'm like, type in this number. And he thought I was showing him something for the baby registry. So he was just like, okay.
So
And
wait, this is too good. So
Yeah.
during the night, I call it the night watch, the capital N, capital W, they're connected together. I literally call it the night watch. Okay. So through the night watch, you were awakened. Thoughts were downloading to you. Within 3 days, the fullness of this project has been downloaded to you. And now it's already uploaded live on Amazon. And you're like, hey, husband, can you help me?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so husband, type in these numbers. Come help me. So then what?
Yeah. So I hand him a paper. I'm like, can you type this in and like look it up? And he's like, sees the Amazon like page, and he's like, okay. He's like, yeah, it's a cool book. Like, is this for like our daughter or whatever? And then he's looking at it.
I love it.
Exactly. And he sees like, wait, why is your name on it? And he gets really confused for a second. And then he was like, wait, did you write this? It was good.
Yeah.
So I got him on that one, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, it's live, you can buy it, but like, please don't because we need to fix the file. So so he like he didn't read it. He helped me and didn't read it until we got the physical copy in.
Okay.
So he just helped like because it was the front and there was the cover that I couldn't get centered because they didn't give me a very good guide to work
Okay.
on.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, the front page, and then it kept pulling pages to do previews of. So he'd like sometimes randomly like have an image pop up, and he's like, I don't want to see it yet. I want the physical copy. And so he didn't get to read it until we got the physical copy in, but he was very excited. So that is the story of how that
Oh,
happened. And
oh, wow. And so we just want to pause for a second, okay?
yeah.
So you're the teacher. There's 5,000 students in the room. What are you going to say to your students?
Okay. About the book specifically?
Yes, specifically.
Okay.
What are you going to
Okay.
say? Okay, wait, no, not about the book. About
Okay.
the making of the book, not the contents of the book, the making of the book.
Okay. So the making of the book was honestly humbling myself because I didn't want to do it. So don't let your pride stop you from trying new things and stepping out of your comfort zone. And then also humbling your pride again when I'd asked for help on something I wanted to be a surprise and a gift. Even though he exploded and was so excited, it still was like, well, it's supposed to be his birthday gift a month from now. And it's an early, and he has to help me with it. So, yeah.
Shout out to all the men there. Shout out to all the men there.
Yes, exactly. So it's okay to be humble and ask for help. And as an independent woman, can be very hard, but don't be afraid to do it. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
great. But now go back even further. Okay? We're going to go back even further. So, it's like the Rolodex. Wait a minute, this came before this. Go back to the very initial like coming down into your mind.
Yeah, the whole download. Oh man,
Yes.
so the book is, since it's in the womb, the baby is in the same background the whole time, right? So because it's her expressions of what's happening in the outside world to her inside world. So it just was literally her response to all these things I do, because we're very adventurous people and we're pretty healthy in that. So we never stopped doing what we had been doing. We just were more aware of like our limitations, which honestly haven't been that many limitations. God's
Yeah.
been good. But so it's her reaction to all of these adventures. And so I just kept seeing her expression. And like when we had just gone whitewater rafting a couple weeks prior to this. Yeah. And it was cold water. It was, I mean, this is the end of summer. It was September. This is the end of summer. It was with my coworkers. It was a work trip. And so they had us bring our spouses and all this stuff. And they're like our second family. They're important to us. But my friend and I decided to jump in the water because we didn't think it was going to be an ice cube. And so as soon as we jumped in from a rock, we just went all in. Baby was kicking, and I could just feel her being like, "What are you doing to me?" And so that's in the book, because that was one of the questions God was like, "You need to download that."
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that is great.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was just all the expressions and like what, obviously it's a little like she's not going to be reacting actually like that in the womb specifically, but it's how I pictured it in my
That's
mind.
right.
And
That's right.
like, yep, exactly. And it honestly built a bond with her because I was like, oh, I can imagine what she's doing right now.
Oh, I love it. Okay,
Yes.
now we're going to take another pause because Sister Shawn over here just goes with what pops into her mind, right?
Yes.
I want you to pause again. You've spoke a lot about God. Okay, now I want you to share a synopsis without mentioning God, how you received this download. Because everything in the scene realm came through a thought. Every single thing came from a thought. So now I don't want you to mention God at all. And now I want you to share with other humans, aka image bearers. I want you to share with them the process.
So, um, I am a visual person, so my thoughts are usually in images and in full color. And I actually more recently learned, because I like psychology classes, that some people see words, and that just blows my mind that they don't see images. Which to them that's normal because that's their reality.
Yeah.
But so they might have seen the words first, they might have seen the storyline first, and then had to ask someone who sees visualization to go with the words. For me, I saw the images. I saw the reactions of emotions through our physical interactions in the outside world, and then yeah, it was just thankfully I was able to put on the iPad what I saw in my mind. So it was like a transfer completely of that exact thought in my image onto the paper, or the iPad, which is like paper. Um, and so yeah, when I woke up, I just saw image after image just spin. It was like I had to get it out. I had to get it out in the physical
Ah.
because it was just stuck in my mind.
Yeah, so I see like I see visual, right? I see
Hmm.
visual, but I also see words, okay?
Hmm.
And visual as like full on pictures that enter into the room, okay? Um,
Yes.
so, but the thought popped into my brain like a message in a bottle, okay?
Hmm.
You literally received a message, a transcript, a download, well, we could keep moving, a commissioning, a mandate, marching orders. You received
Yes.
all of these. Here you go. Now, you had a choice, didn't you?
Hmm. Yes.
So, do you think if you would have said no, somebody else could have gotten this idea?
Oh, I think 100%. It would have been, if it was meant to be created, then it would have been given to someone who's going to respond to it.
Yeah, because
So, yes.
even if we think of Edison, right? People
Hmm.
told him he was out of his rockers, and yet I think you have lights up in your house, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
I have 10 lights in my house to get this color, right? Because
Yes.
I wanted my brothers, my only DNA brother, right? I wanted his painting to truly be the highlight of my scene,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so really, you're telling viewers the importance. Wow, if you're given a project, walk it out.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
because if you don't take command of it, then it's going to be given to somebody else. And then what if it does take off and it becomes this massive profitable thing? And you're like, I had that idea, I could have done it, but you didn't. And then somebody else gets it, and then all of a sudden they're a multi-billionaire for whatever reason. You're like, that could have been me. They like look how successful they are.
So wait,
Or look how
I want to interject something right there. But or look how, stay with that thought, right?
yeah.
In 1990, I lived in El Toro, California. I worked at Ralph's grocery store, and I worked with a woman who her husband invented. It was called, the original name was called Ball Cap Buddy. He invented the plastic thing that goes on top of a ball cap, snaps, and you stick it in the dishwasher to wash your ball cap. In 1 month's time, they became millionaires.
Wow.
One
Yeah.
month's time, because he walked out of thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so now go back
That's
to your thought.
amazing.
Yes, go back to your
Yeah.
thought.
Well, I was going to say for the people who aren't interested in the profit side, it's still we'll look at the what you could help other people with the invention you created or with the creative thought you acted out in. If it is about helping people or reaching people in itself, and you don't care about the money, which is just as important,
Yeah,
honestly, because
yeah.
both can help people in different ways. So,
Yeah. And you know what? You bring up a really good point right there. So, yesterday I had the honor of interviewing Howard Partridge. Okay. And Howard shared, money's good, but money's good to spend. Because if you're out there in the community spending money at your local designer shop, right? You're
mm-hmm,
spending money at the local grocery store, right? You're spending money at the local gas station. You're buying from local buyers, right? You
mm-hmm.
are, in essence, helping to support other households.
Exactly. Especially small businesses and keeping it within the creative
Yes.
realm. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so carry
Yeah.
on with our journey.
Yeah. That's kind of where it's been at so far. It's just now I was at the point I said, God, this is yours. So I'm learning to still be obedient. And lately, I've just been reaching out to people more on Instagram of, hey, this is my testimony with this book. If you're interested, let me know. And I only do that when I feel prompted to. And
Uh-huh.
then I met you that one time um, at that event, and then you handed me your card, and you had seen the book, and so this is the next step in that. It's just I told God He's got it, so I'm just going wherever He's leading me because I don't know marketing. I don't care for. I'm the creative mind. Once I'm done with something, I like to be done with it, and somebody else
Okay.
can take care of the marketing.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
ask me what my motto is.
What is your motto?
Okay, so I'm going to be burned, not put in a
Mm-hmm.
big old casket, right? And I want
Mm-hmm.
it to be inscribed. Shawn was the kind of woman that took people to the edge of their faith, and then she pushed them off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I'm going to
Yeah.
push you off the edge, and this is
Mm-hmm.
why. Okay,
Okay.
you contact every single last person, and I want you to include these words, but yet in your own verbiage. Instead of buying a card for your next baby shower, present
Mm-hmm.
this
Okay.
in your
I'm writing
own
it down.
verbiage. Yep.
Yes.
Instead of
Yeah.
buying a card for your next baby shower, do this. Buy this. Because no discredit to all of the different names associated with those beautiful, wonderful greeting cards that we purchase, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that
Mm-hmm.
book is going to speak volume. Not it will become a normal in somebody's life. Oh, I'm getting this. I'm getting this for this baby shower, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we may run into multiples at a baby shower, right? But yay,
Yeah.
yay, because then
Yeah.
I mean, because we're not going to stop having babies in the world for goodness
Mm-hmm.
sakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
I also have another speaker that's going to be on this afternoon. Her name is she today? Yes, Noki Alvarez. She wrote a book. And I actually, before Sagionic 1027 existed, I interviewed her around Mother's Day to say, hey guys, don't be buying the Mother's Day card. Buy this book. I bought 22 myself. Now, my
Yeah.
husband didn't know that, but now he's going to know it because he's going to go back and watch this video. I
And
bought
then
that.
I'll be back.
I bought that book for every woman I know. Every woman that was,
Yes.
in my inner circle that I just treasure so much. They got that book, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so why not? Why not? It's a baby
Exactly.
shower, for goodness sake. So I push you and say, Jamie, no. This is a prompting. This is a prompting. You send it to everybody you know.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Even
I've been getting it out there with talking to people. I know a lot of pregnant friends right now too, and so I'm like, I either have gifted it to them or somebody I know has been like, oh, I'm going to buy it for this person, and I'm like, perfect, that's what it's for.
yes,
So
and
it's been good.
I would also like a 60-second video commercial. It cannot be past 60 seconds.
Yeah.
I want a video where you're holding your tummy but sharing the book.
Hmm.
Because then
Okay.
when it's the Jamie Ackerman Day, right? Ackerman
Hmm.
Day, I'm going to post that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
This is important because we have to get the word. Babies are coming every day, for goodness sakes,
There.
right? And I would
Yeah.
also intrigue you to go give one as a gift, however you decide to wrap it. Like, I don't know if they have balloons in hospitals nowadays anymore, but I saw a balloon, a ribbon, a book with a ribbon. Okay, when your
Hmm.
first sales start coming in, take that book, wrap a ribbon out around it, and you go hand deliver it to all the hospitals.
Oh, that's a good idea. I gave it one to our midwife and stuff already, and to some other local shelters.
That's
So
right.
that's a good idea
That's
for the
right.
hospitals.
And even
Yeah.
there was another gal I interviewed yesterday, right? Who
Hmm.
oh, hands down. She works at, her and her husband own a domestic violence, how to help people be aware of these. Oh, girlfriend.
Yeah.
What is it? The something's out of the box? What's that word? The secret,
Cats out of
the
the box.
cat's out of the box.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so share some more. Share some more.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to say too, because I've had a few comments with people reading it. They're like, "Oh, well, the person I know is having a boy, and the main character in this is a girl." And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's still the baby's reaction in the womb. It's okay if they're having a boy. The boy can react the same way. So
It sounds
so
like a
yes.
sequel for your husband to go back through the book with the same pictures, but
Hmm.
he gives the boy speech.
Oh yeah.
And
There you
then,
go.
okay, so there's your second book. Your third book,
Uh-huh.
which probably you're all going to get done before you even have the baby. No pressure intended, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so the third book is coming home, coming
Yes.
out of the
Yeah.
womb, right?
Yes.
Coming out of the womb, first day in the hospital, first day breathing that air. What is this?
Hmm.
Right? The first day feeling
Yes.
things. The first day, oh, there she is. There's her arms after they, batted them around, poked and prodded it. Oh, here, take the baby, right?
Yeah. That was actually my idea for the like actual sequel of like the baby's first interaction with everything. Of like, because it's still
Yes.
gonna be similar expressions, but now she's just holding things or
That's
touching
right.
things, and
And it's going to
yeah.
have to all of those are going to have to be written in 3 days because this will go
Right.
live on this will go live on YouTube, so you got to get that written.
Okay. Oh, we'll see what can happen. That's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Remember,
We
3 days for the other one. And the pictures are all the same. But it's
yeah.
your husband giving the speech. What would the little boy say?
Yeah. See, I can get that one done in 3 days. That one's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll just yeah, because the picture's already done. Everything about it is already done.
Yeah.
You
It's just
just
the words
yeah,
change.
that's it.
Yeah.
Just the words
Yeah.
change, and on the front, there's a different name. There's just something little added.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So what else?
Yeah. um, that's where we've been so far. It's caught us up to this moment. So, just now it's just stepping into what God places us for, where the whatever what for. I understand that for the people who aren't faith based, but for me, it's such an ornate thing that I don't even know how to converse without saying God gave me this. So,
That's right. That's right. And that's
um,
okay. But I just
yeah.
want to make sure that we're able to, even yesterday when I was interviewing Howard, right? I
Hmm.
think every other word out of Howard's mouth had to do with Jesus, right?
Yeah.
But Howard is literally a multimillionaire. Howard could talk about Jesus till the sun, moon, whatever that thing's. The cows come home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
so, so tell us, what are some things on the horizon? You know, um, did you get something up on yours? That's weird.
I did not know.
Okay. What is something on your horizon that is bigger than where you're at now, but it can only be what you choose to share. Okay. So
Hmm.
like normally when somebody's given a project, they're not given a project for me, myself, and I. Okay,
Hmm.
it's a bigger project, and because Lord knows you can only feel self so much,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So this book is not about self. This book is about the
Hmm.
excitement of celebrating life and
Yes.
life abundantly,
Yes.
right? So share with us um, in your disclosed manner not the project, but the end result of potentially a future project.
Okay. So there's a big one that I have no idea the timeline on it because
Okay.
it is massive,
Okay.
but it is having a facility of property that people can come to for a lot of different things. There's gonna be a lot of different opportunities. And it's kind of, I would call it more of like an after school program, but just
Okay.
for a time slot of it and stuff. There gonna be like type classes or learning and stuff, but it's going to be where people can come and reset their minds and just feel at peace and to just find joy again. I moved from the country to the city when we first got married, and I lost all of my ways of expressing myself outside of the home because I did everything outside. And we went into the city then, and I lost myself. And so, for the people who experience that, this place is going to be a piece of property. They can come if they want to garden, they can get their hands in the dirt. They can do artwork. There's going to be an art studio. There's going to be animals for them to interact with. And it's going to be structured. There's going to have structure to it. But that's the idea, is just to have a place where people can reset their minds and just feel peace and joy again. So
That's right
that is,
on. And it's needed
yeah.
because it's almost like, it kind of reminds me of my grandparents, they're both gone. My grandfather went in 2000. My grandmother went in 2009. But they made a commitment to one another that neither of them would place the other one in a home. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So my grandfather, before 2000, actually, no, when did he go? My grandfather went in 2002. 2002 is when he went, because we had his
Mm-hmm.
services like Memorial Weekend. So there would be a school bus that would pick, because he got dementia, there would be a school bus in Renton, Washington, that picked up my grandfather
Oh, wow.
and took him to elderly daycare. And so my grandma, I'm going to share something transparent that's just hilarious, okay?
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother would get him dressed in the morning and take care of him completely so that he was ready to go play with all of his girlfriends at school, right? Because it was his school. Well,
Yeah.
one day my grandmother was bathing my grandpa, and he looked down and he goes, "What's that?" She goes, "Oh, Chuck, we don't use that anymore." But
I love it.
it was a fun place. It was a
Yeah.
fun place. And so I see, not only will you have this space,
Mm-hmm.
this bigger picture space, but you will also have many ones across the nation to breathe hope, life, and vitality into all image bearers.
Yeah. I love it. Sister locations where y'all
Yeah,
partner together. Yeah.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, because those facilities must be intact. Because in a book that you and I read called the
Mm-hmm.
HOLYBIBLE, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says this: they lived, whoop, and then they were no more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it shouldn't be they lived and then, oh, they declined so much and they lost their SHIT, literally, right? In being
Uh-huh. Yep.
incompetent, right? And then they died.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like that. It should
No.
be life, abundant life, and
Mm-hmm.
then they get to slip out.
Yep. Full of joy, no
Yeah.
matter what hardships. Yeah.
So now we could be in the creative realm right now. So let's think of let's play with this a little, because we have time, right? Hold
Mm-hmm.
on. We have time, and it's my program.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to bounce this around, because this is going to help other people to bounce around thoughts that come to their mind. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of things would you have in a sister, what'd you call it, a sister
A
partnership?
sister facility.
Sister
Yeah.
facility. What kind of
Mm-hmm.
things would you have? So now you're teacher mind, because you're a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You're a true teacher, diehard teacher. Okay, so you're going to give our students now. Now we're in another state. Now we're in another auditorium, and
Mm-hmm.
you've got people that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who have aging parents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're going to think of what are some things that these people might say, because this isn't let's find them a home. This is let's create fun. So what are
Yeah.
some things that you think should be in this facility?
Oh, I think it should be whatever classes that you feel needed. So there could be programming classes for computer programming for
Okay.
or teaching the elderly if they need help on something. It's just a safe place to go. It could also be apothecary classes on how to make some topical and tinctures and balms and all that stuff. It's just a place to learn that grows the mind, but also just you don't feel like stressed of like, oh my gosh, I failed a test because I didn't do this. No, it's just for you to enjoy learning and doing an activity together.
That's right.
So I would love to have something that as an adult that I did as a kid at summer camps was vaulting, which is basically ballet on horses. So you
Okay.
have a horse going in a circle at a lope or canter, and these people jump on and do like kind of like acrobatic stuff on the horse's
Okay.
back, but it's not trick riding, it's a more storytelling ballet type thing. And so I had done only a couple during summer camp, and I loved it. And I looked into doing it as an adult, and there's nothing available for adults. And so it's like, well, we could have those classes. We could find someone who could teach it and do even if it's a monthly class or whatever,
That's
it's something that
right.
adults could come and try, and it pushes them physically and mentally.
So really
So,
we're talking about
yeah.
two separate facilities, okay? Because the reason being is, let's say any major city like Portland, within
Mhm.
a hour or 2 hour, you have said outdoor programs, right?
Mhm.
But then within like 20 minutes in a community, bigger city, right? Or you have all of these different outlets because truth be told, if we're going to have a bus system, right, then you
Mhm.
don't want the bus to be spending 3 hours on the road picking up people, right? So you
Mhm.
would want it to, like say for instance, I live in Tigard. You would want one to be geographically located in Tigard or Beaverton, right? So that it wouldn't be very
Mhm.
far. Well, then you had the sub sisters that had the outdoor, but then so bring us back indoor. And then I was thinking we've got to provide lunches, right?
Mhm.
And then when you mention the computers, well, let's give everybody free laptops or free
Mhm.
iPads, right? Because with those iPads, with modern technology, we are able to connect with elderlies, thus removing the lunacy of shut-ins. Because
Mhm.
if they had an iPad and they could connect with beautiful family members, right? Well, then you get adopted granddaughters, adopted grandsons, right? But everything, and then you have to have a security system set in place, right? Because you want to be able to protect these people's identity and protect them,
Mhm.
like where the bus is taking them. So, okay, this is really good. Movement by movement. Think of the jobs.
Yeah. Oh,
Think of
exactly.
think of the jobs that's going to create.
Mhm. Especially for if it's a stepping stone for either a high schooler or potentially someone who just got out of prison or something, of rebuilding their resume under their character that change,
The second
and then they
chance,
can
is
go
that what
from
it's
there.
called? Second chance? Second chance
No,
employer?
I
What is
haven't.
it called? It's
It's
called
not,
something.
but
Oh. No, no, no.
I don't
It's
have the name quite yet.
no, not your name. There is a name
Oh.
associated with people who were, spent time in another facility, right? I think it's
Yeah.
called second
Mhm.
opportunity or second chance employer. It's called something like
Oh,
that,
okay.
right?
Okay.
And so this is important. All this stuff. So for our viewers, do you see how you kind of like, you play with it, right? But for
Mhm.
Jamie, she was inside the walls of her own mind, right? And she
Mhm.
just got this whole thing just downloaded to her. But she still made the decision to partner with it,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
So,
And that
so
doesn't mean that I take on all the responsibility either. This can
yeah,
also become somebody else that takes on part of this vision and stuff too.
that's
And I want people to realize that they
right.
don't have to get overwhelmed with having to do this entire vision by themselves.
Yes,
It's
because somebody
learning
could
to
reach
partner
out
with
to
other people's
you.
gifting.
Yeah, somebody
Mhm.
could say, "Oh my gosh, Jamie," because all of her information is going to be in this YouTube, right? Somebody could
Mhm.
say, "Oh my gosh, there was this fire burning in me. I want to be part of this." Right?
Mhm.
Because I remember there was an author by the name of Henry Blackaby, and he had shared, this is for viewers, Henry Blackaby. I read one of his books in 2000, and he said, I'm going to switch the verbiage. He
Mhm.
said, if you can accomplish your vision by itself, A, it's not big enough, and B, it's probably not something that's going to impact the world. Okay?
Yep.
That's what he said.
Mhm.
But he goes, if your vision is so big, like the one that we've been unfolding here on this program
Yes.
today,
Yeah.
he said, A, it's a worthwhile vision, and B, there will be people who were brought into your geographical sphere in order to
Mhm.
walk this out.
Yeah. 100%.
So let's just think of this. You needed Amazon, right? I'm not going to
Mhm.
curse Amazon. I use Amazon. I like Amazon, right? Amazon
Mhm.
helps my life to be easier, right? One
Yeah.
time my husband says, "Why do you get these packages from Amazon?" I was like, "Because I don't drive to the local store. This is
Mhm.
easier," right?
Mhm.
Facebook. I don't curse Facebook. I am not going to curse Facebook because Facebook is free. I
Mhm.
actually bless Zuckerberg. I'm not going to, because for goodness sakes, if we don't quit the judging, right? The judging, quit
Mhm.
judging people for goodness sakes. Why? One of our speakers we had on, was it yesterday morning? I think it was, oh, well, yeah, yesterday was Monday. She said, mind your own business. That'll stop the
Yeah.
judging right quick.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
share with viewers, how did you have to protect what was being downloaded to you?
Oh, there's always opinions, especially nowadays. People like to be heard. So the louder the complainer, the more they tend to be heard. I feel like the ones who don't judge, they're the quiet ones, and so they get overlooked, which that's okay in today's world. People need to be okay with that. But I told a couple people about the book, mostly because they saw me working on it, and then it's really just it's knowing your people, and it's okay with only telling certain people some visions, even if you love even family members. If you love your family but you understand how they might react to something and you're not ready to hear that criticism, it's okay to not tell them until you're farther along in the process. There's other though times where you have to step out of that comfort zone and tell them and accept the criticism and just know that you know the vision for yourself and you have to stand firm on that. So it's really just honestly one choose choosing not to be offended by people's words is protecting yourself, because you can't control what comes out of their mouth. So just allowing yourself to be like, you know what, that's their what they're saying, that's not what I say to myself, that's not what I believe. And just holding on to that vision no matter what criticism you get, because you have the firm visual in your mind, you know what is coming. And I think honestly, it's learning to choose to stay not offended, which can be very hard when people can be very hurtful.
And you know what? I want to share something because I saw this when you
Hmm.
were saying it. And I really like what you're sharing is to take ownership over a thought process, right?
Hmm.
Protect the thought process. Because I was even thinking, let's think of the creation of the girl inside of you.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
Clearly she's protected, right? She's protected by amniotic fluid. She has a constant flow of food. She never feels any kind of temperatures off from what's inside of that womb, right?
Hmm.
But she's also hidden, right?
Hmm.
And yet
Yep.
she's fully alive, right? She
Hmm.
is she is fully alive. Okay? Which I never saw this before until this second. So one of my favorite passages is in Psalm 139. And I want to read this one part, Psalms 139. So it's in the Holy Bible, the book of Psalms, which is actually Psalm. 139 is the chapter. And the part I want to read is, okay, right here. It's verse 11. It says, if I say to the darkness, oh, I don't like this version. Where's my other Bible? Do you have an NIV?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Okay, pull up the NIV. I don't like this version I have right here. And I want you to read verses 11 and 12,
Okay.
because that's where baby girl is right now.
Hmm.
Verses 11 and 12. Psalms 139, verses 11 and 12. And I share this. Okay, so let's say you're like, oh my God, is she talking about Jesus again? Is she talking about the Bible again? Right? I'm okay. I'm okay with that, because to
Yeah.
me, whether your belief system is the Bible or not, I'm not judging, right? No judgments
Hmm.
here. I just love people. I want to celebrate
Exactly.
people. I want to advertise people. I want to display people, right? But
Hmm.
regardless of your belief system, you can't deny the beauty of what's in Psalms 139. So I would
Yes.
like you to read verses 11 and 12.
Okay. It says, if I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you.
Keep going.
For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well.
Keep going.
My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book, before one of them came to be.
Okay,
How
pause.
precious to
Oh,
me.
go ahead.
Okay.
That last part.
How,
That last part. Go ahead.
how precious to me are your thoughts. God,
How,
how vast is the sum of them.
were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand.
Yes.
So if you look at a human being and you see every single person who watches this, I want you to
Mm-hmm.
speak to people the beauty of who each human being has been created to be, regardless of a potential home environment they were growing up in.
Yeah. I think it's really important for people to understand because I did not understand this and it put me in a really dark place growing up. Is that, and the world will tell you that differently. The world's going to tell you that everybody's the same, that you're just another woman, you're just another man, but do not accept that because you have a specific gifting and a specific purpose and only talent that you can give, and it might look similar to other people's, but it's not exactly the same. There's no exact copy of you. I believe in the last video we talked about, you mentioned fingerprints. It's how fingerprints, none of
Yes.
them are the same. Even on the hand, even on the same hand, you're not going to have
Yeah.
the same one. And they're close. There's ones that are going to be close, and you might have close matches, but it's still not yours. And I think people need to grasp that for themselves. There is never going to be another person that is you, and to hold on to that and to realize that if you grasp the importance of that, you're going to feel so emboldened. And then you can face the hardships of life and the criticism. Like, it doesn't matter what you say because I know that I'm unique and I have importance.
That's right. And I like to say, I'm his favorite, but
Mm-hmm.
so are you. But so are you.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
And
Yes.
I think that it made me think of another speaker I interviewed yesterday, and just how Linda Green walks with tenacious overabundance of joy in who she is. She
Mm-hmm.
celebrates who she is.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that, oh man, I could do this good, right? And I think we need to come back to that because it's not wrong to be happy about your giftings. It's
Mm-hmm.
not wrong to celebrate, right? It's not wrong to celebrate. Wow, I could do this so good, right? Let's, for goodness sakes, let's all go back and relive the moment of learning how to ride a bike. Let's see, mine was a green Schwinn.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who learned on that green Schwinn, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I will never forget that day,
Yeah.
right? So can you
Yeah.
speak to the viewers about how to begin the process of celebrating oneself?
I think it first is to stop putting yourself down all the time, which as a creative, we're our own, our the self critics of our, we're the worst enemies to ourselves. Um, and that we can destroy ourselves just by our mental process and starting to, instead of picking apart all the hateful things that you think of yourself, even if you can find one good thing that happened today, one good thing that brought you semi joy, or at least that you didn't feel hurt from or drowning in, just that one thing you can focus on every day, that is going to start building a ladder. And then you're going to start having two things and then three things. And you're going to start learning that you have the power to how you react to everything, which also controls your confidence and your joy. Because if you react to every word, a stranger could come up and say, wow, I like your scarf. And it's, if they say it in that tone, it's like, was that a compliment or was that not? Was that sarcasm? But it doesn't matter. Even if it was sarcasm, you can take it as a compliment, be like, thank you, I love my scarf too. Or you can let it destroy you and start, because you're overthinking it, and you let it pick it apart of like, wow, maybe my scarf sucks, maybe it's awful, it doesn't look good on me, when they never said that. They could have just used the right correct tone.
Self thoughts,
Yeah.
self projecting criticism.
Yes.
SPC. Somebody write that down.
Mm-hmm.
SPC. Self projecting criticism. SPC.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm writing
There
down.
could
Yes.
there could be a whole child's book written off of that.
Mm-hmm.
SPC. What are you doing with your SPC? Right?
Yep.
So self projected criticism or self realization. C. Creativity or
Mm-hmm.
created being, right? Self
Mm-hmm.
projected affirmations.
Yes.
Self projected affirmations,
Mm-hmm.
right? Self projected affirmations.
Yep. It structures your mind.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So even somebody we interviewed yesterday, Howard Partridge, he was talking about creating like a almost like a vinyl record, right? How
Mm-hmm.
when you through repetitious thoughts, whether good or bad, right, it literally engraves within your brain
Mm-hmm.
habitual pattern thoughts. Now, habitual
Yeah.
sounds like bad. No, habitual could be good, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, to focus on one thing, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
Silly commercial. When I was 28 years old, I had my last child, and not knowing, I didn't know about a calorie until I was 37,
Mm-hmm.
38, probably 38 years old. I didn't even know what a calorie was, right?
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I didn't know what a calorie was. So, but when I was 28, I delivered my child and I lost 2 teeth, right? And it was devastating because they're both in my smile, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember I'd go to the dentist and they kept talking about drilling holes in my gum. And I'm just like, oh gosh, I can't, right? Because is what it did for me. It caused me, no, Shawn, don't focus on your smile. And I began to see people in public. And then compassion overtook me to, oh my gosh, Lord, bless this person with teeth. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now
Mm-hmm.
is my dentist going to fix my stuff this year? Oh, yes, he is. And then I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna do one of these on both sides, and then I'm gonna give my dentist name because I'm getting my dentist on screen for an interview, right? I'm gonna even show him
Awesome.
this video, right?
Yeah.
But in the midst of raising 5 kids and eventually 6, that was not a luxury to play. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get 2 teeth fixed. So I could have either spent the last 27 years, because she's 27 now, right? I could have spent the last 27 years focusing on, oh, that's just terrible. You're missing 2 teeth. Or
Yeah.
I can say, I like this about myself. I like this
Exactly.
about myself. Oh, I like this about myself.
Yes.
Right?
And
So
for
go ahead.
sure.
Go ahead. So
There's
share.
there's a book I've been reading called Pain Free Birth for because we're doing an at home birth. So this is how I'm prepping for myself. And one of the things she says was the mental process of if you're always tearing yourself down, you're telling your body to tear itself down. So of course you're going to have more pain. You're going to have problems happening because you're telling your body to destroy itself because you're destroying yourself mentally. And that hit me because I was like, oh, that, because we do it self consciously of like, oh, I feel gross today. Oh, I feel fat today. All these things. And it's like, stop saying that. Stop
That's
allowing yourself to have those thoughts.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And here's encouragement for you. That particular child that I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I was given a phrase, right? And I was active. I actually ran a paper route
Mm-hmm.
in South Seattle, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Literally a week before I had the baby. I ran or 2 weeks before I had her. I ran a paper route, 7 days a week, right?
Yeah.
And I jump roped 6 days
Mm-hmm.
a week, and I lifted
Yeah.
weights 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
And but a phrase came to my mind, and I decided to partner with it. And the phrase was, "The more I relax, the quicker she'll come.
Yep.
The more I relax, the quicker she'll come." And I can tell you,
Mm-hmm.
start to finish, 3 hours.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Because and the day before I had her, I went on a 20-mile bike ride.
Yeah. I love it.
Right?
And
I
I
did.
still ride
Yes,
horses. Like
yes,
it's all about mentality, honestly. There's
yes.
gonna be you do have to listen to your body. You have
Oh,
to
of course.
learn when like okay, you have to have limitations. But that's another thing. I think there's apps nowadays so you can track the growth of your baby.
Okay.
But what I've noticed is it sends you notifications. I get emails all the time that says this is the problem that you could have today. This is what could go wrong today. And it
What?
has that in the app. And I refuse to read it. I refuse to open it. I'm like, I am not accepting what could go wrong. I'm not accepting the pain that should be happening because
That's
then people
right.
become in agreement with it and then they start living in fear of all these problems that could be happening.
That's
And I want to encourage other
right.
women to stop telling pregnant women because this is huge because they're like, oh, my pregnancy was awful. Had all these problems. don't wish that upon the next pregnant lady. Just say, I hope that yours is
Oh.
blessed and wonderful. And then stop
Oh.
expecting, that people keep kind of, they're like, well, mine was horrible, so I hope yours is horrible. Don't wish that on them. Hope it's better.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
And I
makes
think
me
that's huge.
feel guilty because when I was growing up, I have five sisters. Okay,
Uh-huh.
five biological sisters, and then one came later on in life, right? But we didn't know about health and nutrition. So all of us
Uh-huh.
were I'm going to call us victims to vomiting the whole 9 months. And so
Uh-huh.
so I have the oldest at 35. And the youngest in our family is probably right around four of the nieces and nephews. And there's 31.
Mm.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
had a gang load of kids, right? So we were around each other a lot when we were pregnant. Well, so if a sister was like, I need you to pull over, we would just sit there and hysterically laugh as she's vomiting out the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that, people. That was just to make somebody laugh. Okay.
Yes.
So
But see,
Jane,
it's okay. You
yeah,
can't
it
do
was
what
just
you've done.
fun
No.
and loving. So I just speak over women.
Exactly.
3 hours start to finish. Okay, 3 hours start
Yeah.
to finish. It wasn't
Yeah.
that I didn't want to have the drugs. I wanted the drugs. I wanted the drugs, but they said no, you're not getting the drugs, right? Which
Uh-huh.
was really good because I just focused on relaxing, like lifting weights, jump roping. Everything's about relaxing. I thought about you with your
Exactly.
paintbrush. You're not. Oh, I will paint this picture, right? You're just in a calm state, right?
Yes.
Because in
Yeah.
essence, peace, Peac, is the missing piece, Pice.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
100%.
and
Yeah.
so tell our viewers, it will be also written down in the comments of this video, but tell our viewers verbally how they can reach out to you and how they can access your first of many books to come.
Yeah. So adventuresofthewomb.com. It has two links on there for a hard copy and a soft copy. They take you to two different websites. So the paperback is through Amazon and the hard copy is through, I believe it's called Lulu Publishing or lulu.com. So that is how you can get the book. And to reach me right now, my Instagram is stumps_thistles. And that you can private message me. You can see my artwork. And I do tag my personal account, which is the same.
Okay.
And they're public, so it's open for people to see. But yeah, so for now until our website is done, because we are creating a website, it will be called stumpsandthistles.com, but it's a thing, it exists. You can go
Uh-huh.
to it. There's just not anything on there that
Okay.
you can purchase or anything. So
Okay.
yes.
So, Jamie, I
Yeah.
cannot thank you enough to agreeing to come on this interview again. What a delightful woman. What a delightful family. And I'm really looking forward to all of the projects that are going to stem forth.
Yes.
In
Thank you
just
so
in
much.
just learning now to partner with what you're doing, and you truly do have a gift of teaching. You need to know this.
Thank
You have
you.
a gift of teaching, and you have a way to be able to break it down to people. And I look forward to how that gift of teaching is going to be used not only statewide, not only nationwide, but globally.
Thank you.
So, for all of
Yeah.
our viewers, until our next edition, our next broadcast, I know they call them other names nowadays, but I call mine a broadcast. So,
Yeah.
until our next Sagionic broadcast, I would just like to say to all of our viewers, may the Lord bless you, may the Lord keep you, may the Lord make his face to shine upon thee. Blessings. Bye.